this is extremely important, the string displacement and being able to control that. Okay, so now we've talked about tension. I want to talk about the movement of the thumb joint, okay, because I've realized that this is essential too. I've found that the less tension I use, I can control the tension more by allowing the thumb joint to move. So if I want to go for a softer dynamic level, then I allow my thumb joint to move. If I want to go for a louder dynamic level, I want to make sure that becomes more rigid. So I'm actually controlling how much I move that thumb joint when I play. So if I want to play a G major scale, we'll keep it nice and simple, nice and steady, but nice and softly. Very soft. I'm making sure I'm applying very little tension. I'm not displacing the string by much at all. And the resultant dynamic level is very soft. The attack on the strings is minimal. So if I want to increase that level and bring up the volume, what I will do is I will not allow my thumb joint to move as much. I will make it a bit more rigid. That means I have to apply a little bit more tension. But notice the attack is pronounced as well. The other thing that you'll notice is my right hand again isn't moving very much. It's all about displacing the string. So, okay, so connect all of that together, you have dynamic range, and that is to do with string displacement. Controlling tension is all about how much you displace the string and being able to control how much you displace the string. Directly related to the tension aspect is being able to bend that thumb joint when you want to lower your dynamic range, so make it quieter. If you want to make it as loud as you can, control how much you bend that thumb joint. Now for me, this works really, really well. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody out there because everybody's different, but this is the way I play. And the more time goes on, the more it makes sense to me, you know, because all of this is connected. The other thing that's really important is a lot of players pay no attention whatsoever to dynamic range. Whatsoever. They never think about playing softly or playing loudly and how much of an impact that has on your technique. You know, if you want to be able to play with complete control, you've got to have control over your dynamic range. It is absolutely essential. So for me, understanding all of these things and how they work in conjunction with one another is just so important. So now I've talked a little bit about that. Well, I've talked a lot about that, but it's really, really important in terms of your playing. So what I would do is I would start with just an open G string and see how quietly you can play it, but be in control of the tension. Be aware of how much you're displacing the string when you play. Keep your eyes peeled on your right hand as well. Be aware of the thumb joint. Now, the more tension you apply, the less that thumb joint moves, the more the string is displaced, the more volume you get. But notice I don't need to do that. Okay, like I said before, there's a time and a place. If I want that particular sound, then I will move the right hand. You know, you have the freedom to do that, but when it comes to this type of playing and controlling tension, apply the planting technique, displace the string, release. This is very, very similar to a classical guitar approach called the play relax technique. You know, I talked a little bit about that briefly in Economy Picking Part 1, but this really allows you to get really in depth with the technique and control elements of your playing that you probably haven't even thought about.